said deep glass, right?
Yeah, my ass pretty shallow, actually. Short.
Miami
That's
runs
just
deep.
until you get past that ileal sphincter and then you can go shoulder deep.
Why do you know the name of it?
A sphincter is this thing that does this.
But he put the thing on. He put a qualifier on.
That's the illest sphincter I ever seen.
That's the sphincter about 6 inches inside that you can push through. That's how they do that, like shoulder deep fisting.
I can't.
Closed for business, bro.
Yeah.
Exit only.
Yeah, that's I don't party. Like, I don't butthole. I don't do anything.
Hey Peter, check out Channel 12, man.
Yeah, I don't do.
It's the breast exam.
I don't do buttholes. It's just not my style.
Oh lordy.
Whole world of pleasure.
A whole new world.
Oh, it's spelled H-O-L-E. How do you know you don't like it unless you try it?
Jesus.
Yeah, anal is just like green eggs and ham. They should put a book out. Hey everybody, welcome to Trunks and Iconoclast.
Oh, that was on record. Well, it's right for the time here.
This is our DVD commentary to the movie Caligula by Bob
1979.
Guccio.
Yeah, where are we queued up at on that movie there, Spencer? How long is that movie?
It's 2.5 fucking hours.
Oh, so you got the full dirty
Wow.
version. All right, put us about 30 in, just,
Okay.
so we can just roll from there.
Yeah.
If you couldn't tell by what I just said, today's main topic is Emperor Gaius, better known as Caligula, aka Little Boots. So shit's gonna get weird.
It's gonna get kinky.
Yeah, it's
Gonna get freaky.
even though most of it's
It's gonna
bullshit.
get stinky.
But as usual, the first thing we're gonna do is break down what's weird this week. Who wants to go first?
Oh, fuck it, I guess I will. Oh, wait, we didn't even introduce ourselves.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Hi, I'm Mike. I'm your host, and I'm joined by...
I'm Emperor Gaius Spencer Lowry, otherwise known as Little Boots Lowry.
Yeah, Little Boots Lowry. And I'm Chris Wells. I am totally hinged and grounded in reality. Thank you.
Good to know. That's exactly what a person
good to
who's
know.
totally hinged would say.
Yeah.
It's good to know the temperature in the room with Wellesley at the beginning of the show.
Christ, look at that bush.
Miles and miles.
Oh,
yeah.
And yeah, just for the listener.
Oh, wait, that's a man ass.
Well, look.
Wow.
Okay, all right. So we do have this movie playing in the background.
Yes.
That was not a joke. It is actually playing. So there might be a little distraction here. A horse head and tits.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's a reverse centaur.
Get that good late 70s bush, too.
Yeah.
You know,
More bush than the fucking arboretum. More bush than a landscaper's nursery. All right, there is so much bush on this film. It is ridiculous.
yeah, this is going to be
And cocks, too. There's lots of...
But they got bush too.
Yeah.
this is going to be a continuing distraction throughout. So,
And Malcom McDowell's beautiful, dreamy blue eyes.
Helen Mirren, age 21.
yeah, I didn't know she was in this, but
God.
man, she's still a
Dame
looker
Helen
on this
Mirren.
day.
Dame.
Yeah.
What
Oh.
is that a...
Whoa!
I thought that was a movie.
Oh, Jesus!
All right.
Yeah, this is gonna be a little bit different. Spencer's the only one who really put in a lot of effort this week.
Yeah, he researched by
yeah.
watching this porno.
Yeah, I've been waiting
Yeah.
to dig up some dirt on Caligula.
Don't say you, man, because I woke up to you doing some pretty frantic research the other night.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Oh, man.
So,
I got
yeah.
copious notes here.
And I do have bourbon today.
Yeah. After Papa Doc,
I got
we
my
kinda-
Smirnoff.
Yeah, we're
holy shit.
chillaxing this week.
Yeah, we're kind of in between. This is going to be the skimpy meat in a strange sandwich because last week, obviously, we did Papa Doc. Hope you listened to that episode. That was our piece de resistance, I think, so far.
But we got more things cooking.
That's right. Next week, we got something big coming up, which we'll kind of lead into a little bit later on in this episode. But yeah, what's weird this week?
All right. This is on Yahoo News.
They're still around.
They are still around. Joe Rogan guest arrested after discovery of headless torso in NYC.
Holy shit.
Says cops.
You can trust what they say.
All right. And this is the funny thing. A Harlem man who became an outspoken advocate for criminal justice reform and rehabilitation after being freed from prison last year. It was only out a year. Dude did like, I believe it was 20 years for attempted murder, robbery, and a slew of other things, I think.
Free Mumia.
He got out, and he was a big-time activist. Made it all the way to the Rogan podcast. I mean, that's pretty big. That's pretty big. Pretty big. Sheldon Johnson Jr., 48, was also charged with manslaughter, criminal possession of a weapon after they found a headless torso and arms in his Bronx apartment while conducting a wellness check. This,
very unwell.
Yeah. So this story, the remains were identified of Colin Small, 44. Police have no idea how, what their relation was, but they had a beef dating back to their time together. Oh, they did time together in Sing Sing.
I'll give you a little carne asada.
Yeah. And this just lets you know about New York neighbors. Police said the neighbors in Johnson's building had heard at least 2 gunshots coming from inside a 6th-floor apartment early Tuesday. Followed
probably just moving furniture.
Followed by a man shouting, "Please don't! I have a family!" and another 2 gunshots. They didn't call the cops.
That did it.
But Tuesday morning, they told the super of the building. It's like,
hey, you might want to get up there.
Yeah, he was
banging around.
I don't know.
You might want to go shopping on Tuesday morning. I heard they had.
Sound like maybe he had a plumbing problem. I don't know. But he called the cops, and cops got a search warrant. They found a small torso. Oh, Small's torso. The man's name was Small.
He was average size, though.
Yeah. But they found his torso and a foot inside of a large blue bin. The other foot, as well as his arms, legs, and decapitated head, were found inside the apartment's freezer. Now,
brought to you by Tupperware.
Yeah. The funny thing,
container store.
I don't know how they found that much in there. I didn't dive too deep into this, but I did. There was a Fuzzy. I sent you the pictures. There was some security footage that shows him in multiple disguises going in and out of this apartment with different containers. So I don't know if he was taking one body part at a time, because it sounds like they found a lot of body parts in there, but I guess some of it was missing.
Like he was trying to convince people that 7 or 8 different people live in his apartment.
Yeah, he had a wig on, he had glasses.
Points for making an effort.
Yeah. And then each picture, he had like...
He's overthinking it.
He had like some kind of tote or luggage.
He had the Groucho glasses with a nose.
Yeah. All I could say is, he didn't really help the movement there on prison reform, because it's like he was in for attempted murder already, did about 20 years, got out. What did he do within a year? He murdered. So it's like you're trying to get prison reform, but you go out and really give inmates and convicts a bad fucking name because you just came out and what's the word, recidivism.
What would Bob Barker think? And not that Bob Barker.
No, the Bob Barker who's...
The other Bob Barker.
The other Bob Barker. Look it up. If any of y'all that have ever been to a county or a state or even a federal facility know who the Bob Barker I'm talking about is.
He also wants to have prisoners spayed and neutered.
Hey, actually, wouldn't be bad. I mean, really.
Probably not.
Well, it's the whole eugenics argument.
Yeah.
Invented by America. One of our main exports.
A lot of people were on that.
Germany perfected it, but we invented it. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. We made some inroads.
Yeah. We also created Zyklon B gas showers. Thanks, America. Oh yeah.
Yep. So wasn't that Dow or some major?
Well,
it was a big company. I can't remember which one.
When I look around at humanity right now, can we bring it back? It's not great, but.
My definition of ethnic cleansing is if everyone took a shower once a week, race relations would probably improve.
Regardless of color,
Far better, yeah.
Well, Stanhope said there should be...
Doug Stanhope, awesome comedian. Check him out if you don't know.
Said there should be incentive-based eugenics.
Yeah. I never won nothing in my whole entire life.
Yeah, and you could offer him a prize like a hunting trip with Ted Nugent, if you get your balls cut off,
Look, it's not even the ball. Look.
NASCAR pit tickets.
See, that's the bad thinking that gives vasectomies a bad rap. I've had one. I got fixed.
Right.
I did my part.
And if you ever need sperm, I have plenty.
My sperm's still in there. You could go get it if you want.
Yeah, I'll attest to it. Chris still has both of his balls.
Yeah, balls are there.
I'm just saying, I got plenty of sperm to give.
They just have a little slit in them.
Well, check your bed sheets, huh?
Well, that's the thing.
Just bring 'em out.
Your body still produces the sperm. My chode still got some living fellas in there.
You still blow loads, right?
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, do I.
Is this clear, right?
No, it looks the same.
Oh, okay.
It just doesn't get
taste the same?
It just don't. We'll have to ask somebody else about
Sorry,
that.
I've been watching this Caligula.
yeah,
Spencer's getting a little too dirty. But no,
Caligula
really.
episode.
I am very pro vasectomy. It doesn't hurt that bad. You walk funny for a few days, but I was back to action within 2 days.
I'm pro population control.
I am 100%.
Childbirth limits, that should, we can
And
learn.
as many conspiracies that were around the Georgia Guidestones, I think they were correct. But all these conspiracy theorists, that's my biggest problem with they were totally against the population control, but anyone that is sane should realize that, hey, maybe we all should just take a step back, and we're a little fucking crowded, you know?
Yeah. That's why more people apparently are infantilizing their dogs instead of having children, things like that.
I don't like that part of it. That's gross.
Yeah, I don't want to see pictures of your kids or your dogs, but whatever. Fucking, I don't know. It is. We need to
Fur baby.
I don't fuck with the fur baby thing. People, you let your fucking dog come up and put its nose and lick on my crotch? Would you let your child?
Would you let vasectomy?
Would you let your actual child come up and sniff my crotch?
Yeah.
If it's a fur baby, keep it the fuck away from other people.
Nothing worse than a puppy nose in your butt cheeks when you're trying to show your woman love,
Yeah. God.
Oh shit.
Anyway, well, that was what's weird. I don't know. This guy, I guess he was a Rogan guest. He fucking he chopped up his homeboy that they did some time together, and I don't know. He might have still owed him 2 soups on that fucking football game they bet on at one point. And
I bet there's plenty of other Rogan guests who have also not been vetted, who have done horrible shit in their lives too.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Possibly, quite possibly.
He does like 3 podcasts a week with tons of guests. I'm sure fucking somebody's.
Yeah, law of averages. One of them's an asshole.
Not AJ though.
Right.
I'm kidding.
Right.
I'm kidding. I'm hinged today.
Every time I've seen that guy wearing a fucking foil hat, I just want to punch him in the face. So he thinks he's being so cute.
It's cute.
Anyways,
Cute.
It's kind of
I have a developing story that I'm looking at in the background, but I didn't know this, but apparently there's been a fuck ton of quote-unquote mysterious deaths at Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
Ooh, do
in
tell.
like the last couple years. Well, I'm still looking in and out of it. So next
Saddam's
week.
chemicals.
But this week, I have a story from a website called GnosticWarrior.com. This is about how meth addicts develop parasitic fungal infections. Now, I don't know if our listeners have met any meth addicts out there.
Oh boy, have
But yeah, most of the ones I met, they do have strange, weird.
Hello, Spencer.
Hey, wait, no.
Hello, me.
They look a lot. I've met quite a few who have like these weird like oatmeal stains on their. It's just weird like.
They
parasitic.
pick, which could lead to an infection, which could possibly be fungal.
You pick and you're dehydrated. You don't drink water.
Frequent meth use makes these addicts essentially more prone to these parasitic fungal infections, and we're talking like fungal infections along the lines of like what's that cat poop stuff called?
Necrotic fasciitis. Oh, toxoplasmosis.
Yes, it's like a mind control shit. Now, granted,
that's cordyceps.
This is
toxoplasmosis can also affect the brain.
It affects your behavior.
Yeah.
So apparently, and
that's why my ex-wife wouldn't empty the litter box when she was pregnant.
Yeah.
Just collecting
I get
turds.
the toxoplasmosis.
The whole world has it by now.
Yeah, good.
So, being that this source is from GnosticWarrior.com, the contention behind this article is that it's these parasitic fungal infections, as well as various like intestinal parasites, which meth addicts are also much more prone to, causes all these shifts in their behavior, and
because of the gut-brain connection.
I've never heard of any of this.
And apparently, the author of GnosticWarrior.com equates this to demonic possession.
Oh,
so
anything bad can be called demonic.
Well, yeah, he wouldn't be the first to equate like parasitic infection with like demonic possession. That's actually something that goes way back in history. Like when people first found out about like tapeworms and shit, they thought it was like weird Like, ooh, fucking, it's like,
a
oh,
demon.
there's a white worm from your anus.
Can you help me pull this demon out of my keister?
Yeah. So, let me see. Let me find the science part. God.
For a visual effect, both Spencer and I looked to the screen playing Caligula to see if he just happened to be pulling a tapeworm out of a keister.
God.
He pulled his bloody fist out of a keister.
Yeah, he pulled his fist out there of a keister.
Yeah, that was...
Take the ring off.
But I have never heard of this parasitic thing. But,
Yeah.
I mean, and knowing what I know about meth addicts, and I have had a time or two. I'm like, what's that? Was it also Progressive Farmers? One of the insurance companies. It's I know a thing or two because I've seen a thing or two. I've done a thing or two.
Liberty.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense that dehydrate. I mean, when you dehydrate, that's what causes meth people's teeth to rot out. Is their mouth is
drink
dehydrated.
Water. Yeah.
And that dehydration allows bacteria to thrive and proliferate.
Yeah.
And
the teeth fall out.
And it's not the actual meth that does it, but it's the dehydration.
Yeah, the effects of it.
Yeah.
It says
So that can happen in the gut too.
Quote, a 2015 study has shown that as a result of drug use, our bodies create chemical defenses, which increases the pro-inflammatory responses and the induction of oxidative stress pathways. This causes significant neurotoxicities to arise, increasing the risk for acquiring transmissible microbes and other opportunistic infections, such as systemic fungal infections. Now, he does, I mean... Like I said, this is from Gnostic Warrior, so take it with a pinch of penicillin.
This sounds like one of the sites that I stumbled upon.
yeah, it's very much in that same vein.
Chris's Instagram feed.
But there is
Pretty
actual
much.
science behind the fact that, yes, like these, you know, you become much more prone to
A
infections.
weakened immune system.
Yeah. He says, the author himself, this is when I believe the fungi become pathogenic and can seriously manipulate an addict's mind to do its bidding, like they have been proven to do in insects. It turns humans into walking and talking fungal parasites, aka
The Last of Us.
demons.
That's confusing
Yes.
cordyceps with other things.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like like you said
We're
about
the
the
same mechanism.
the gut-brain barrier,
Yeah.
because most of that like like the beneficial fungus that lives in the gut or the vagina, etc. Fucking, there's all kinds of like.
Talking about that goop yogurt with what's her name?
Yet again, another conspiracy theorist stealing the plotline from a movie.
This is before that, actually. I think he's basing it on fairly reputable science, but
Questionable.
Well, I mean, no, because toxoplasmosis does affect your behavior.
Is that a
It
fungus?
does.
I know that there are fungi infections that do infect insects because they grow like weird.
Yeah.
That's cordyceps.
That's
Okay,
cordyceps.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
That's the whole plot line from fucking Last of Us.
But yeah, there are like fungal infections that will affect your behavior and how
Great
the
show,
mind
by the way.
works.
Nick Offerman was fantastic in episode
I've
3.
had some fun guy that affected my behavior. It was a behavior of a good time, actually.
Cream of some fungi.
And I got you good, you fucker.
Let's see.
Hey, we're cutting loose on this episode. Another reminder. We're having fun.
According to lead researcher Luis Martinez of Long Island University Post in Brookville, New York, and of Albert Einstein College of Medicine in the Bronx. What? Martinez says the greater ability to cause disease in the lungs may be due in part to simple electrical attraction. So there's like this weird sort of energy flow thing as well. I'll include a link to this because it goes into the direct science behind it. But then obviously, like I said, it sort of spirals
I'm
into
going to
the
have
whole
to check out this Gnostic Warrior guy.
demonic possession. Oh, dude.
Does he got a Twitter?
I don't know. I know he's got a podcast. I don't know how like
he's got a
recent.
He's got a Twitter and a
Probably,
Reddit,
yeah.
probably, yeah.
I don't know how recent this information is because I stumbled across this while researching something else that we'll get into later. But yeah, it's strange. I was reading the comments on a lot of his little blog posts here, and most of them were just like,
Life is precious, and God and the Bible.
But yeah, these, there's various parasitic infections and microorganisms that totally alter the behavior of the host. So there's a little bit...
May not be a sentient decision on part of the fungus or bacteria, but it does, in fact.
Right. Because who's, I mean, you know.
The brain chemistry or whatnot.
Yeah, meth causes candida infections, and candida infection can cause mental illness, itching symptoms, and memory loss. Oh, man. Yeah.
And also extreme horniness.
Is it GnosticWarrior.com?
Yeah.
Okay, I've found a few people on Twix sharing his stuff, and yeah, they look like real
Winners?
winners.
Yeah. Candida infection, and possibly the organism itself, plays a role in affecting the memory of women with schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. The disruption in conjunction with an abnormally functioning immune system caused by meth use could collectively disturb the brain processes that are important for memory. Basically, his whole contention is that fucking your behavior is totally overridden. So like he is kind of, I mean, yes, there's science behind it.
He ain't wrong on the over swooping idea, but
yeah, he's kind of mixing it with old, outdated medical ideas of parasitic infections being tantamount to fucking demonic possession.
That sounds like some Kellogg's ass shit.
yeah, like the real Kellogg guy.
Yeah. Eat
Road to Wellville or
eat
whatever.
fucking Frosted Flakes so you don't fucking jack off, you know?
Yeah. Graham crackers
And
are supposed to
enemas
do the
twice a
same
day.
thing.
Oh, Spencer, do we need to get you some goddamn...
No, I just know all about the Kellogg story. The guy he had a shit machine that he would sit on that would shake him until he shit his pants, you know, and he would have an enema after breakfast and after dinner.
This man needs an enema.
That's a lot of butthole plowing.
And yogurt enemas too. And then
Ugh.
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean, you know, it was
That's-
quack science.
That's not the way to use
The
yogurt.
history of medicine is just them trying
Look
to
on
fucking
girlsway.com
anything.
and you'll see some yogurt coming out of
All right.
All right. Spencer, you're in timeout.
Oh, don't cancel me.
No, I've also mentioned on What's Weird before that webcam girl that's really famous, Amaranth or whatever. She's like making some kind of beer concoction using her vaginal yeast and fucking selling it on an open market.
It's like, what's her name? The Goop gal.
Yeah.
She has a
Yeah, but
vaginal yogurt.
she doesn't actually put her pussy in anything. She just says that the stuff smells like pussy or something. Like she had that pussy candle. Gwyneth Paltrow?
I think we
Gwyneth
should call the Better Business Bureau and have them
There is no pussy in this candle at all.
have them double check what her vagina smells like just to be sure. And then Coldplay should write a song about it. Anyways. So yeah, that's What's Weird this week. Any hoozle.
And that was brought to you by Kentucky Bourbon.
Brownest of the brown liquors. So yeah, today's main subject, Caligula. We're playing a little fast and loose today. Like I said, we're in between big episodes. So this is going to be, I'm going to say predominantly kind of off the cuff for us today. But in that respect, I would hope that we're also going to, cover all the bases of all the weird shit you've ever heard about this motherfucker, and B, expose how it's predominantly bullshit.
Yep.
Yep, fucking history. His story.
Question it all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
so we're going to learn his story. And him, we're talking about Caligula. Gaius Germanicus.
Yeah.
Before I listen to anything, because most of my research, of course, this time was just listening to podcasts about Caligula.
Yeah, we're not even going to really list sources this time.
Yeah, it's not. I just fucking listen to random stuff, and of course Wikipedia and a little bit of other fucking random blurbs I found on the inner nerds. Most of the thing that come up when you put in Caligula is this 1979 film starring Malcom McDowell, which we can credit that as a source because Spencer studied the fuck out of this one.
Dame Helen Mirren.
And Dame Helen Mirren
In her early 20s in the heyday.
I've only seen, we watched a few minutes before we started recording, and it's playing right now.
Yeah.
And I have seen Malcom McDowell lift his robe multiple times to accost.
I wonder how much red Kool-Aid they used in the production of this
I don't
movie.
know. A lot of Bush, though.
A lot more Bush than the White House in the early 90s. That was a stretch.
And early odds.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. Very nice.
So yeah, let's see. Let's start, I guess, where the story starts with the birth of Gaius. God damn it! I gotta get a
Listeners, right now there is a
Roman
bunch,
bukkake.
but they're jizzing in a dish.
Yeah, well, who's gonna?
Oh yeah, by the way, parental discretion is. If you've already listened to this episode this far, you probably shouldn't.
If
have
you
if you're
put
19.
on, all right, everybody knows at least the basis of Caligula, and if you're playing this in around your children or something, and you saw the title is Caligula, you fucked up already.
You are a bad parent or
You're
guardian.
a bad parent.
We're all gonna have pink eye by the end of this.
Gaius Caesar Germanicus, nicknamed Caligula, which means little boot, given to him by Roman soldiers in Germany at the time of his father Germanicus's rule.
No relation.
Or not rule, but military leadership.
And they gave him that because they made a actual small little military uniform
A little
for him.
soldier suit.
They made him a little soldier suit.
He was a mascot.
He was
He
a
was
little.
like 4 or 5.
He was a mascot, and his mother would go and parade him because she was in a. Who was she married to?
Germanicus, the military leader, who was helping take over the lands, which is now Germany.
Yeah, and so he was the little mascot.
Germanicus, Germany. That's where they got
it. It was cute.
So cute. Anywho,
Look at the bloodthirsty little bastard.
Yeah.
Caligula's father, Germanicus, was very popular among the Roman people and the Praetorians and the military. He was successful, well-liked.
Skip forward a few years, and let's see.
Yeah, there's little details known about Caligula's early life.
Being that it was ancient Rome, I'm sure it was a loving, nurturing environment.
Caligula was the son of an adopted son of Tiberius. Tiberius adopted Germanicus, which is Caligula's father.
Right.
So he was like the stepson.
I do know that Tiberius is one of the, I can't remember if it was 6 or 12. There's like the 6 or 12 Caesars. 6, okay, yeah.
And he was like the second or the third. I think he's the second, and Caligula was the third.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right. For those who don't know, Tiberius was the emperor during the time that Jesus was crucified. And to a degree, according to legend. And
what year are we at? When was he born?
12 AD or CE.
Current
era.
Current era.
Yeah.
So the year 12.
Common era. It's
common era.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quick aside.
Check my notes.
Jesus Christ was arrested at 4 o'clock in the morning in a park with a naked boy by
It's
Roman
like my
centurions. And you can find out all about that by reading the Bible. I believe it's Mark 14. There's some very weird, strange stuff going on.
Deep dive biblical research here, folks.
And some strange shit. But yeah, so to a degree, Caligula is a bit of a contemporary of Jesus.
Catch us season 12 where we tackle the Bible.
Yeah, Tiberius is in charge. Let's see. I believe, as far as history is concerned and recorded, records go, that we get to Tiberius where he's on his last legs, basically.
Tiberius was a ruler that he wasn't like a lot of the other ones beforehand. He liked to stay out of the public light.
He was a paranoid fellow.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure all of them were.
He was known for his extreme paranoia. Yeah, very untrustworthy. For good reason, he was a corrupt asshole, and the people that worked for him were corrupt assholes.
Every fucking source that I looked into on this used the Game of Thrones reference to let you know how scandalous and how everybody was constantly plotting on each other back then, which is true. I mean,
true due to historical record, I mean, it seemed to happen a lot.
Still never seen that show.
A bit.
Very similar to the Haitian coups and the way Haitian leaders were overthrown.
A lot of political intrigue. Also, like this movie, a lot of Bush.
I could have swore that show was originally titled "I Fucked a Dragon," but whatever. George R.R. Martin's doing his thing.
Yep.
Prince Joffrey. So yeah, Tiberius.
How do you know the references then if you haven't even seen it?
From listening to Caligula shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a holy.
yeah, the Joffrey.
So yeah, Tiberius. He's like you said, a corrupt asshole. He eventually starts. Actually, I can't remember. Does he have his little Epstein Island thing before he starts getting sick?
Yes.
Okay.
A few years into Tiberius's rule, he retired from the public eye to the Isle of Capri.
Retired.
Yeah, so he was still...
Is that where they do
he
the
was like
pants?
shadow
The short
ruler.
pants?
He had... that's where they got started, yeah. Sejanus was his Praetorian Guard advisor. He basically ran the government in Tiberius's stead.
Right.
And basically carried out Tiberius's orders. One of which was to kill Germanicus,
Oh, shit.
Caligula's father. When Caligula was 7, he went on a tour to Egypt with his father Germanicus, which was strictly verboten at this time by Tiberius. He didn't want any... See, at this time, Egypt was the breadbasket for Rome. That's where all the grains were being grown and coming from. Tiberius controlled this breadbasket, so to speak, this Egyptian breadbasket. He didn't want anybody, especially people of influence and power, to know any of the secrets of how the grain was stored, harvested, and then shipped back to Rome. Because he didn't want anybody to know other ways to feed the people of Rome. He wanted to be the only.
Yeah.
He wanted to be the head honcho when it comes to supplying food for the people.
Taking a page out of the Freemasons book, according to how they originally started, basically.
Yeah. He wanted to be the gatekeeper for food in Rome. Yeah. So this, Germanicus took him and his boy and his mother to Egypt on a tour.
All right, time out real quick, just so I can describe what's also happening in the movie
There's
right now.
There's a bunch of people fucking in a pond.
Is it the Isle of Lesbos? Because it's a lot of ladies writhing and licking.
Oh God!
Calm.
Is that Helen Mirren?
That's Helen Mirren.
That's Helen.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you
That-
could tell
I mean,
that. Okay, you could totally
unbelievable.
tell that scene was edited in on top of the big lesbian orgy.
Just hotter hell get out. Man.
Yeah, they put that in and
The lesbian orgy. These were all penthouse pets.
Yes.
At the time, yeah.
Bob Guccione.
Talented women, one and all.
I'm sorry, Spencer. I had to just touch base with the audience
okay.
of where this film is.
All right, let's put away our hard-ons, boys. Let's get back to business. So, Germanicus comes back to Rome after this tour of Egypt. Tiberius is pissed. And once again, Caligula is at age 7. Germanicus, his father, is executed at this time.
For what?
You mean Gaius'
for-
father?
Gaius.
Yeah.
Caligula's father,
Yeah.
Germanicus, yeah.
Okay.
Was killed because he disobeyed Tiberius's order to not have people go to Egypt. People that could
It's a real
possibly
nice
usurp
brain
him.
secret
He
I
was
used to
very
have.
paranoid of being usurped, Tiberius was.
Yeah.
Extremely, horribly paranoid.
Yeah,
So Germanicus
intrigues
is
and
assassinated.
backstabbing and it's the name of the game in this shit.
And, at this point, little Boots was only 7. Julius Sejanus, which was the leader of the Praetorian Guard, like I said, Tiberius's military advisor, was feeding these suspicious tales of Caligula's family. Agrippina, his mother, and his brother Nero.
Not that one.
Not that one.
Not
one
the
that came
fiddler.
before him, yeah. So Tiberius was getting this stuff fed by Julius Sejanus, and consequently exiled Agrippina the Elder, which is Caligula's mother, and Caligula's brother Nero, to a prison island in 29 current era.
Right.
I say it's current era. Common era, current era.
Common era.
Yeah.
Exiled him, and they eventually starved to death 3 years later. His mother and his
Yep.
brother died horrible, agonizing, slow deaths.
You might say this had a bit of an effect on young Little Boots.
Yeah, Little Boots. Yeah, he's basically like the trope of people go to a village, raid the village, burn the village, and they find one kid sitting there, standing next to his dead dad, and it's like, oh well, we got to take this kid in, and then that kid ends up being the last of the Mohicans. You know what I mean?
I guess we better adopt him so he can nurture his need for vengeance all through life.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Yeah.
So after that, I think, if I'm remembering the sequence of events correctly, he's basically more or less adopted by Tiberius. After that... there's a lot going on.
A lot going on here. Yes.
So after that, Tiberius more or less adopts him, for lack of a better term, and he's kind of brought into the fold. And like we said earlier, Tiberius has the Isle of Capri, which is his weird little Epstein Island where, not only him, but other emperors would go and just have their weird, fuck fest, whatever.
Did he have a boat called the Lolita Express?
Oh, God.
There was plenty of young child diddling for sure, and cavorting of all kinds.
Man, I thought we were going to get away from that.
Yeah.
But
throughout history, men of power.
Yeah.
Why?
What can I say? They like, it's like the last taboo, the last thing they can conquer. You know, it's like, hey, little kids.
God damn it! Why are the conspiracy theorists so right?
I wouldn't say they're right, but
Are they wrong?
They're not wrong about the kids.
Not wrong.
They're not wrong, but they're not right either. That's a damn conundrum there.
He's brought onto this little weird Epstein Island, the Isle of Capri, and it's this weird,
Short pants.
Yeah, fire
He spent time
fest.
with Tiberius and was like in his court, basically.
Yeah, and also, like, by this age, I remember, like, Caligula is already kind of showing signs of being, like, irrevocably fucked up to a degree by what he's already been through.
Completely unflapped by the death of his mother and brother.
Yes, in the presence of Tiberius and his people.
Yeah. He's game-facing them.
Yeah, he's totally game-facing, and he's good at, like, hiding his fucking contempt, etc.
So Tiberius doesn't get the idea that Caligula is trying to plot against him for killing
Tiberius,
his parents.
refresh. He was his stepdaddy, uncle, something like that.
Yeah, Tiberius adopted Germanicus, which is Caligula's father. So Caligula was like his step-grandson.
Okay.
They are distant relatives,
Yeah.
but yes, he brought him closer to the fold.
Okay.
Yeah, Germanicus was his cousin first, and then he adopted him as a son.
Right.
I saw the whole family tree. I couldn't even.
Yeah,
there's
there's
lots of
a lot of
crossovers.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like we
Lots
said,
of twisted branches in that
there's
family tree.
yeah. That family gene pool needs a filter.
Yeah.
Yeah, the six Caesars from the beginning, they're all interrelated. So like this is a very, monarchy
Inbred-y.
dynastic lineage kind of thing going on. But yeah, Tiberius sees kind of fucked up behavioral traits in Caligula, like as a youth. So during this time, while he's on Epstein Island, as I'm gonna keep calling it,
In the parlance of our times.
he sees that Caligula has like a real flair for the dramatic, I guess you could call it. Specifically, drama and theater and things like that. So
Acting!
So he basically tries to bring in all these actors and theater people and sort of foster a love of the arts in Caligula, thinking that it'll sort of temper the flame of his inner fucked upness, basically. Who knows how well that worked out. I will say that eventually at some point Caligula sort of, like, theater actors and dramatists, or whatever you want to call it, were very looked down upon at this time, performers of all kinds.
By Tiberius especially.
Yeah. They were
old dirty-ass Hollywood.
Yeah, persona au gratin. Later on, during his reign, Caligula would sort of try to normalize theater actors. He would sort of bring entertainment to the fore a little bit more.
He freed a lot of exiled actors that
Yeah.
Tiberius had put in shackles for not portraying him in
It
such
seemed like
favorable
Tiberius
light.
was kind of a square. He didn't really go to the games, the acting. I mean, because that's the thing.
He was a real buzzkill.
Yeah, he did seem like a real buzzkill, except for his little
Commander Buzzkill.
island, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, eventually Caligula actually started dating a mime, and needless to say, the people were speechless.
Oh.
But yeah, I wrote that today.
Shitty
Yeah. We'll load in a red
I can
shot.
add it
There
in
we
post.
go. Yeah.
But yeah, eventually, Tiberius comes down with the crud. He starts dying. There are people who say, historians, mostly I believe Suetonius, who has been one of the larger historical sources for the story of Caligula,
The main
but
one,
only in like the last 30 to 50 years, I believe. People are finding out that Suetonius is a bit of a fucking, you can't really believe a lot of what he says.
And he wrote this stuff like years, if not decades, after these people were posthumous. Yeah.
And he was one of the high echelon senator type people, right? Like
He was a tribune for the senators.
Yeah,
He
he was.
That explains a lot, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the senators who did not see Caligula or Tiberius in good light.
Oh,
Yeah.
Caligula.
For good reasons.
Caligula, that's what I've been calling him too. Suetonius says that there may have been some sort of collusion of sorts between Caligula and one of his, I guess you could call him early supporters, early cheerleaders, a fella by the name of Macro, who was head of the Praetorian Guard, if I remember correctly.
And Caligula's closest advisor and friend as well.
Yeah, to assassinate the sick and dying Tiberius, and or Tiberius was dying because he was poisoned by these people, but allegedly Macro was the one that ended up eventually, like, putting a pillow over his face. You know, he pulled the whole fucking One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And, that was the end of that. Not long after is Caligula's rise to power. And I know that we're glossing over probably a lot of details. But we're trying to get to the meat and potatoes of the story.
You know what's glossed over but got a lot of meat and potatoes? The 1979 film about Caligula. There's a lot of glossing on this.
Shellacked.
Shellacked.
Those pages in history are stuck together.
I tell you, my pants got tight a couple of times while I was doing research on this movie.
I mean, it is playing out of my right eye. I'm trying to look at it. And, I don't know, there's this guy.
So, Tiberius died in 37. Tiberius died in 37 BC with no decision made for his successor. He basically wrote out a will shortly before his death, naming Gemellus, which was his biological grandson, and as well as Caligula as like dual heirs to the rightful throne.
That almost feels like a sort of here fuckers, like, I don't know, like one last fuck you kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like right before you die, you say, I left $2 million buried
under a big T.
Yeah, and so it's like a one last
Big T Bazaar in Oak Cliff?
No. I didn't know Jesse Eisenberg was in this movie.
So when he died, Caligula had ties with the Praetorian Guard through Macro, his best friend.
The military were some of his biggest supporters.
Yeah.
Which is why, like,
helped.
As we go through, I totally see Caligula being a fucking bro dude, like,
and
big time.
Just as in with, like, the CPACs that get Trump in office, President Trump, 45, you know, they pay millions of dollars for his election campaign, and then he uses those people to build the border wall. You know, so just like that, when Caligula
a good wall,
was
strong wall, the greatest wall.
Yeah, it's a fabulous
It's gonna be a great wall, a fabulous wall. We're gonna have the best wall.
People are saying this is the best wall.
It sounded more Kennedy than Trump.
Tremendous wall.
It sounded more Kennedy than Trump.
Sorry,
you know, so
drinking Irish
so
whiskey.
basically, Caligula was named emperor the day that Tiberius died, with heavy push through from the Praetorian Guard, Macro.
Well,
and so his first thing that he did was gave a big cash payout to the Praetorian Guard, the military, and the Roman people in general.
Yeah.
So he's like paying back dividends,
just
to
like the
people
Donnie Bucks.
Yeah, Billy Beer. Yeah.
So we've, I think, between last week and this week, if we've learned anything, to be a ruler, get that fucking military on your back. You got to have the guys with the guns and the knives and whatever.
Papa Doc, what were his goons called? The
Tauntaun Makute.
Tauntaun Makute. Yeah. This is the Praetorian Guards all over again.
Oh, not this scene again.
Yeah. Why have we watched this
coming up
particular
on the
scene?
Okay, I just have to describe. All right, so there's this gooch. It's getting larded.
It's a Crisco commercial.
There's balls. And Malcom McDowell just stuck his hand in what I believe is lard, and now it's going straight up the ass of this poor man.
You know what? All I can think
right after he just deflowered a woman's anus as well.
Fuzzy said looked like Jesse Eisenberg.
This scene, all I can think of during this scene is that Malcom McDowell has voiced various children's cartoon characters. That's like all I can think of.
Yeah, wasn't he Scar on?
He's been in a lot of stuff.
He wasn't Scar in The Lion King, but he's done lots of.
He's done a lot of children's
voiceover.
He's got that gravelly British voice.
Fucking superhero cartoons and weird shit like that.
Anyway.
Yeah.
He had a ring on.
Ugh. Never mind.
So now we have Caligula, emperor at the ripe old age of 24.
Spencer did hard research this week.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when people know shit about
hard as concrete.
Hard.
Yeah. So Caligula's 24. He's emperor.
He got a lot of honors bestowed on him by the Senate, which I didn't know about this. Ancient Roman government, I guess if you can call it that, is very interrelated with state worship, like the imperial cult, because most of the emperors are, at least upon death, deified as being gods.
Yes, which we'll have further evidence soon,
yes.
yeah.
I hope that happens when I die.
We'll take care of it.
All right.
There'll be a glossed statue of you.
We'll throw you in a dumpster behind a Stuckey's.
What's a Stuckey's?
Stuckey's restaurant?
Barbecue.
Yeah.
Huh?
Maybe I'm thinking of Chubb's Barbecue. I don't know. I can't remember. We won't really.
We're in Texas, and Buc-ee's might make sense. Put me in a dumpster behind a Buc-ee's.
I think I'm thinking of Dick Eyes Barbecue.
Yeah.
Dick Eyes. That's what it is.
Dick Eyes, the local Texas barbecue chain.
It's really Dickies.
They have the yellow cup.
It's on that,
yeah, that one.
That's a Texas
It's not
joke.
that good.
It's not that good, but
It's
but
not
the sauce
Texas
is
barbecue.
zesty, but
Yeah, it's a good sauce.
the sides are horseshit.
Yeah.
Anywho, so, the government with the imperial cult in place, it also has sort of it's a strange mixture between a monarchy, especially in this time of the Six Caesars, and then the Republic, because the Senate basically controls everything, except that the Senate bestows all these honors upon the emperor, aka the princeps, which translates to first among equals. So he's basically, every emperor, and especially Caligula in this story, is sort of, they have to engage in this fucking sort of bullshit fucking just...
Song and dance.
Yeah,
with
it's
the
a whole
common
fucking...
people.
Yeah, you have to, fucking glad hand everybody and just
Kiss babies.
Yeah, shake babies, kiss hand, all that shit. Fucking, it's a whole game you have to play. And at first, sure, that's fine. He gets all these honors bestowed
Democracy
upon
in
him.
action. Sounds great. Where do I sign up?
So, yeah, that's how it works at first.
Yeah, historically, and with Caligula, his first 6 months, he was like going to turn everything around. He was
I
caring about
heard
the common
up
man.
to 3 years. They said 6 months to 3 years he was doing actually pretty well.
Out of his 4 years, and there was a slow decline. The longer he went towards his eventual end.
And it was only 4 years, too, in total.
4
which is
years.
so weird.
So that means he was 28 at the end of his reign.
Yeah. When people know shit about life.
And
I
I just think of me at 28,
Dude.
No.
That fucking
I was
Rome
getting
would have
around.
fell a lot sooner.
I know.
I was among the people.
Yeah.
It's so weird in retrospect that this is only 4 years of history through thousands of years ago, and this small portion of it is like so, well documented. Well, not well documented,
Soaked
but
in jizz.
yeah,
Well,
that's
it's
one way
like,
to put it.
the foundations of what we call Western democracy was started here.
Yeah, Greece, Rome, Greco-Roman.
Yeah.
He's-
We're all looking at tits right now.
Yeah. There is right now, Malcom McDowell has got 2 ladies.
Malcolm in the middle.
Malcolm is.
you went
Malcolm is in the middle.
middle.
Malcolm is in the middle. And there seems to be kind of peephole situation.
There's
now
about to be some box munching.
Some glory holes.
rein it in, boys. All right,
Yeah,
rein it
anyway,
in.
so,
Oh, baby.
special DVD commentary
Yeah.
on the podcast. He's doing the whole song and dance. And yeah, I've heard as well from 6 months to 3 years, like, his whole deal was like, Tiberius was bullshit. I'm going to turn this around.
He imposed an income tax, which helped bolster the lower and middle classes.
Yeah.
Which obviously is a populist thing to do to make
Yes.
the common people get on your side.
And yeah, they were like, yeah, go Caligula. Fucking like,
Let's build a gold statue
like,
of you.
I'm one of you. It probably pulled some of that bullshit as well from some of the things.
I like
heard.
your favorite sport. Well, it wasn't
Let's
sports
kill
team,
600 animals in
but it was the
Yeah.
chariot racers. He picked sides in the chariot races.
And
Yeah.
he did some chariot racing himself.
Did he?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
eventually built his own chariot racing thing within the
He had
confines
total
of the...
That's
fucking
another
hot
reason
rod.
why he was so popular at first, because he was totally into sports, or whatever,
Which
fucking
Tiberius
equivalent.
was ixnaying at the
Yeah.
time, right before him.
Yeah,
Tiberius was canceling the games.
He was very private and standoffish, whereas Caligula
Conservative
was
financially, too.
very out in the open, yes, and spending cash like a chimp in a beat-off
Yeah,
contest.
because
It was
Tiberius
fucking-
had conserved quite a bit of cash at this point.
and that's what he was
And
using. a
Caligula
lot
was
of it.
dumping it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I picture him driving the Dodge Charger of fucking goddamn, which is, pretty low end actually. But that he's keeping it real.
Ooh, hot take.
He kept it fucking real with the Dodge Charger Chariot.
If I could equate it to what I understand...
Financed in fucking 25% APR.
Are you kidding? With APR like that, I could just die. No, yeah. If I could equate it to like modern day, from what I understand of international football rules, wow, she is fucking going to town on
Those
that.
pubes are soaked with
Olive oil.
Spencer, you're getting too close to the TV and not close enough to the microphone.
Oh, sorry. Here I am.
So, if I could equate it to what I understand of modern day football analogies, basically Caligula was also sort of poo-pooed. This is one of the first times that the Senate was like, "Oh my, what are you doing?" They were all clutching the pearls because Caligula openly rooted for his favorite team, the Green Team. Because that's how simple it was back then. They all had colors. People were like, you're not supposed to do that if you're a fucking emperor. If you're a big, head honcho, you're supposed to stay impartial. And he's like, fuck that, that's my team. So the best I can relate it to, from what I understand, he was, rooting for Arsenal. He was... Whoa, god damn. Okay.
That is
wow. Violent orgasm.
Early squirm gets the worm. Okay, so he was poo-pooed by the Senate, and they were already like, this man is very uncouth. He's, like I said, he's spending money left and right. Not only, yes, like you just mentioned, did they kill 600 animals upon his sort of,
in a scene of conspicuous opulence.
Yeah. It was
but look at all these animals that I slaughtered.
This was this was still pagan times. They were sacrificing to...
Oh, yeah.
It was a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Did any of them make it to the smoker?
I'm sure they ate some of them.
Okay,
Well, I think from what I remember of reading and stuff on these rituals like that,
you don't eat the sacrifice?
You can't eat the ritual sacrifice.
Ooh, what a waste!
Because the meat goes to Zeus or Jupiter.
I don't think there wasn't as many starving populations at that point in the Roman Empire.
Yeah, they had vomitoriums.
They were doing pretty
all
right.
The rich people, the aristocrats.
They were doing all right.
The aristocrats.
Aristocrats.
So the sacrifice of all those animals, he would even do opulent shit. He closed off the fucking Circus Maximus, which was the biggest coliseum, which the Las Vegas casino is named after, to bring it back to modern parlance. But yeah, he would close it off, and he filled it with water, and they would have fucking stage naval battles with actual giant ships.
They could flood the Colosseum. That was actually one of the most impressive feats of engineering from that era.
Extremely wasteful spending. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but fuck, man, that's cool as shit.
It was all about spectacle, man. Fucking, that's where the term "bread and circuses" comes from this time, because it was
this one fucking conspiracy guy.
It was a show
uses the bread and circus reference way too often, and then he does the in his. I
bet he has a gluten allergy too.
He would.
Does this have gluten in it? I think my wrists are a little swollen.
You call these bagels? Whoa, I'm glad he's on our side. So yeah, there's a lot of opulent spending. There's sort of a unofficial ritual or custom of the emperor throwing lavish feasts, but when Caligula started doing it, it was volume up, break the knob off, because he was throwing gold flake on the food and shit. And
so he made Goldschlager food?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, and he would invite non-traditional members into his parties, actors, even common people, farmers, stuff like that. Instead of the senators, which causes stuff later on.
Well, the senators don't know how to fucking party.
He saw a lot of them as corrupt as well, so he wanted to show that he
just wanted to stick it to these people because even though technically he was part of the elite, he wanted to kind of shun all them and be like,
and the senators were part of Tiberius's reign too.
Yeah, they're holdovers.
And so they're holdovers from Tiberius.
And also
they were the boomers of the time.
Part of this is because, what happened to his family. He has kind of a chip on his shoulder from that leftover. But also, when he took over from Tiberius, he inherited a vast haul of records from Tiberius about who was corrupt, who was plotting what, who was a fucking, a sick fuck behind the scenes. And allegedly, in front of, a vast crowd, he burned all these records, but secretly he kept copies of everything. So he knew who was a fuckhead and who wasn't.
And the records that he burned were allegedly supposed to be records of Tiberius's trials against people that he found to be traitorous, which were actors, other politicians, anyone that portrayed him in a less than favorable light.
Yeah, and yeah, he would also, like we said at the feast, he invited like his favorite charioteers. He paid these dudes like millions of dollars and just like, here you go, here's $1 million, or cisterns, as
Cisterns, yeah.
He was reading about the money thing was like
giving
confusing.
out big payments of cistercians. What were they called?
Isn't that another name?
Can we just call them dollars?
Dollars, yeah. Ancient
Rubles?
Roman dollars. Yeah.
Isn't cistern another name for a
It was,
toilet now?
It is.
Out of
It's
rupees.
something like that. A cistern is like a toilet sink thing.
Yeah.
It's a truck stop toilet.
Well, no, cisterns are those big water tanks on top of apartments like high-rises in New York that would provide water pressure for the higher...
Yeah, well, you know what? We gotta
like
look
they
at
found
that.
Eliza Lamb in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The chicken.
Let's bookmark that for later.
Yeah, she. I know she was in the water.
Hotel Cecil.
Hotel Cecil.
Yeah.
Yes. I rode past it.
Yeah. Did you see all the squalor and homelessness?
I did.
I used to be... I spent some time in that working around there. Yeah, there's lots of riffraff.
In L.A.
Yeah.
Are you right there?
No, actually, I thought you were talking about Dallas. Sorry.
No. Dallas has its own Skid Rows. Actually, we have many
Yeah.
Skid Rows. No,
Yeah.
L.A. just has the most prolific, largest Skid Row.
They've been getting moved around
Yeah,
a
the
lot.
most famously
shuffled.
known Skid Row.
It
Yeah.
won't be long before they just disappear completely, I'm sure. So yeah, all that shit we just previously mentioned, this is what starts out a bad first footing with the Senate between Caligula. He just does not give a fuck. He's kind of doing it his way. He's Frank Sinatra-ing it, and people ain't digging it.
My way.
And as Mike is saying this, I'm looking at Malcom McDowell doing it his fucking way. I'm guessing, we got the sound off, but I'm guessing that's supposed to be his sister, because one of the rumors about him was that he had relations with, what was her name?
Drusilla.
Drusilla.
False. Turned out to be false. Yeah,
Yeah.
apparently
Most
Drusilla
likely.
was his favorite sister who he trauma bonded with after his mother, father, and brother were killed
Yeah.
by the evil, paranoid Tiberius.
But the dirty ass fucking thing that the people said about him was that he was fucking his sister, which really...
Well, apparently back in ancient Rome, anytime you wanted to defame the shit out of someone, you basically called it in question like their sexual deviancy, or you attached it to them, much like today.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Although back then...
Because it's saying that if you say that a ruler can't, like, your sexual impulses are the most base level, and if you can't control that, and if you do, like, creepy, gross things, I mean, well, you're a creepy, gross person, so what else is there to say about that?
That's all I have to say about that.
That's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah, calling into question people's sexual deviancy, and it's
Seen it
weird
1,000 times.
because back in these days, fucking sexuality and drug use predominantly were used in ritual settings because there was all kinds of different temples and mystery schools that incorporated various rituals that were used to varying degrees, but like ritualistic sex and ritualistic drug use. I mean, there's only just now, like in the last, once again, like along with finding out that like guys like Suetonius, Dio Cassius, he's a little bit more...
Ronnie James Dio Cassius?
Yes. He's a little more, let's say, believable, but like Suetonius isn't like, classicists are finding this out, but they're also finding out that they were putting soluble ergot in the wine and, using it in various,
to induce a state of mind.
ecstasy or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah, an ecstatic
Tripping balls.
Trance.
Yeah, exactly.
They were tripping balls.
There was
But
actually
also probably shitting themselves blind too, because ergot poisoning does cause.
Well, that's why they were using a certain that's why they put it in the wine, because they were using a certain dissolvable. It was like a.
It's like the first step in LSD synthesis.
That's funny because the entire when I originally pictured us going into Caligula, I had this whole vision in my head, right, of him. He's all right. It's evening time.
He's spread eagle, right?
No.
Oh,
No. He's. It's the entrance scene. It's the entrance scene, like on Kingpin. You know where he walks in. You know.
Yeah.
Caligula's walking in.
Boom, 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 boom.
No.
Boom, 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 boom. Okay, that's even better.
But
hey, fun boys.
But yeah. But it's they got the war drums back then. Whatever their version of. He walks in. He's got his entourage with him, right? Pops a couple of mollies. All right. He pulls out a scepter. Does a big fucking key bump off that thing, right? And then he's orgies going all around, but he's not even paying attention. He's like, these bitches are mid. He's like, I'm not even down with that. And then he does the entrance.
I'm on some next shit.
He's on some next shit, and then he does another big key bump off the scepter, pops another couple mollies, and then he's so that
takes one to the dome.
Yeah, takes one to the dome, and then gets some dome, and then so that was my modern interpretation of before I went into Caligula. But now I'm just looking at the 1979. And
well, once again, this is based off false information.
It's based off false, and it's just really gross. I mean, don't get me wrong.
To try and reinvigorate his dead sister.
Yeah, there is some hot lesbian scenes in this thing, but other than that, it's pretty gross.
Yeah, I was gonna say that whole fisting scene earlier. Man,
that was gross. It was gross.
He was caught red-handed.
But that is the perception of Caligula throughout the time.
His sister's dead right now, and he's gonna try to.
Is that what this is?
Eat her back to life.
That's his sister?
Look, yeah, that's his sister Drusilla.
See, that's the thing. Caligula got a bad rap.
Right now.
Yeah.
The only other reference of Caligula...
Get a quick one while she's still warm.
He's actually one of the better emperors because he got more shit done in a 4-year span.
But that's the thing. He's gotten such a bad fucking rap.
Month-to-month average.
It's because he pissed off the wrong people.
The only Caligula other reference I had in my life was as a youngster... I remember going to work.
Oh, they were going to say George Costanza.
I thought you were going to say Seinfeld too.
Oh, yeah. No, there was that one.
It's like Caligula.
No, I went with my dad when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
To work with him, and we went over by Love Field in Dallas, which back in the day was a different area than it is now.
It was a makeout spot for a while, yeah.
But it was near Bachman Lake, yeah. We were near Bachman Lake. And there was a big...
Overdrive.
It was my first time seeing a pornographic billboard. It wasn't porno, but it was insinuating.
Yeah.
And the place was called, it was a porno theater called Caligula's.
Yeah.
And I said, Dad, what is Caligula's?
Just ignore that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you when you're older.
But anyway, that was my only reference, is seeing that name. That always popped in my head every time I hear Caligula. Even on the Seinfeld episode, where Jerry called him Caligula because he was eating pastrami and fucking. And
the most sensuous of the cured meats.
I mean, I had corned beef yesterday. I didn't get hard.
That's why the Irish eat it.
Now you got Bliss and Lido's, instead of Caligula.
Okay.
For the adult theaters.
I was going to say New Fine Arts.
Yeah.
But there's Bliss and there's Lido's, which are full-blown theaters where there's lots of
L-E-T-O?
L-I-D-O.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Check it out if you're in Dallas. That's an ancient Greco-Roman thing.
I'm glad we have our resident pervert to let us know where the... Nope, Spencer. No.
I don't have to defend myself, you boys.
I'm glad you're taking all this flag, because if people knew what I looked at on the internet, I would be ostracized from the town.
I am a person of virtue.
Right.
You're probably the most chaste of the three of us.
Only in the last 30 to 50 years are we finding out that guys like Suetonius are bullshitters. Plus, with better translation skills and software and things like this, people are finding out more and more. There's a guy named, I believe it's Carl Ruck. He's I forget which university.
Like the sack?
Yes. He's one of the first people who helped popularize a lot of the drug use, like especially ritualistic drug use, that took place during ancient Greco-Roman times, And academia has had a huge pushback because there's like, these are the people who founded Western civilization. They wouldn't use drugs
still like to
and
party.
do this shit. Yeah,
They were eating opium and
opium, marijuana.
And everything was
Yep.
ritual. Like, think about when we were in middle school and we scored fucking a little bit of weed or a new drug that we hadn't done yet. That was a ritual.
Yeah.
I mean, in our old age, it's old hat, you know?
Yeah.
But back then...
No seeds and stems anymore today. either.
No.
You don't have to gin your weed to get all the sticks out of it.
Yeah. But that was the thing. Like, it was all a ritual. And to them, of course, they didn't have the fucking guy on Telegram that would deliver fucking whatever to their house every day.
Got a call about some empty pipes.
Like the call, like now. Back then, even just with us in middle school, getting some drugs was like a whole fucking thing. It was an ordeal. So when we finally took those drugs, it was a ritual. We experienced it to
It was a social bonding.
It was absolutely.
There's all kinds of weird,
Remember that-
like a rite of passage, like finding pornography in the woods. Yeah, like or a
Breaking
parking
into your
lot
dad's
or
stash,
whatever.
Yeah, we had to fucking work a lot harder for it.
Yeah.
Remember that time we all took mushrooms and you did the butt scoots in the park on Duck Creek? You know, and you cursing the cops?
Fuzzy and I recall that as the Brethren Monkeyhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was that owl that kept hooting over us all night.
Yeah.
And you were doing dog butt scoots on the ground with the fucking cops. I hate fucking cops.
I don't remember that part.
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure that owl was there because of us.
Yeah, they didn't leave the whole night.
Yeah, like this dude Carl Ruck, he found all this stuff like all these old werewolf legends and stuff like that go all the way back to ancient Greco-Roman times. The Spartans actually were some of the first people who employed mushrooms. I believe it was the fly agaric. They were like berserkers before berserkers, basically, because the Spartans, it was a warrior class, a warrior culture, and they were all about like wolves. Because they had like rituals of like abandoning their kids, part of the training to grow up and become a badass soldier. They throw them out in the forest where there's wolves and shit, and you had to fight one and come back with a fucking wolf pelt. And
we should bring that back.
Maybe beyond mushroom.
Kids are too soft these days.
Yeah, quality control. That's what it's called.
Thinning out the gene pool.
Yeah.
You know,
So,
the Amanita muscaria, like you were saying, has deep roots in Christianity as well. I mean, this was one of the most ancient forms of entering a trance state through the use of pharmacological methods. Yeah.
The word
Pharmacological.
The word pharmacon too has interesting history because it does like go back to the Greco-Roman time.
That's not a farmers convention?
No. Farmers only. You know what that means. Pharmacon actually has a double meaning because it deals with all of the drugs as well, but there's also anyone who was designated as a ritual sacrifice, a human being generally, was called a pharmacon too, because it was supposed to be like their sacrifice was meant to be a sort of like a
sacrament.
Yeah, like a drug for the gods, basically. And they fucking killed this chosen person, which was a high honor, etc. Fucking, I don't know, I'd probably throw a shit fit if I got selected. But, yeah.
Man.
Yeah. I'm not the one that got
I don't think Zeus likes Irish cuisine. Yeah, it's strange, man. A lot of that shit like has been incorporated into, if you read, weird fuckers like James Shelby Downard, fucking has been incorporated into Masonic lore and conspiracy theory today, which we'll touch on a little bit later. But
we need to come up with our own ritual. Or wait, I guess we're kind of doing our own ritual.
I mean,
we're doing this every fucking week, man.
We do this every week. We have a little ritual, so we are kind of invoking our own little thing.
We're using alcohol and nicotine and caffeine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
As holy sacraments.
I brew a pot of coffee. I put out the bourbon, and
ritual is fucking.
Misty puts out snacks.
It's embedded.
Misty,
it's embedded in your behavior.
Yeah.
Fucking.
This is a bacchanalistic.
Nah, I wouldn't go that far.
Well,
the Bacchanalia, like the women involved in that, would like engage in cannibalism and fucking. It's wild, dude. Fucking, you gotta look into some of that shit.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'll have to look into that.
That's
yeah,
like
the frenzy, the religious frenzy that these people would get whipped up in. Fucking, it's insane.
Ecstatic, orgiastic.
And I do just have to say, Helen Mirren had a nice rack.
Oh my god. Beautiful. Beautiful. You don't know people of our
Just to
generation.
remind y'all that an art film is playing as we
Is that what this is?
It's an art film. It was the 70s.
1979 Caligula Ultra Cut.
Yeah. Oh, this is the old. Yeah, it was over 2. Because that's the thing. I looked it up, and they're like the original cut was like an hour. It was like just or about right under
An
2
hour
hours.
45. Yeah.
Hour 45. This is 2 hours and some change.
Speaking of
Yeah,
hour 45, we gotta hammer through.
Where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at?
We're at like 1:15 almost.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So.
But yes, Helen Mirren.
So no more Helen Mirren's rack.
Well, I mean, it's there.
It's there. We can see it.
Yeah, we can.
Oh.
So, yeah, let's jump ahead. Caligula ended up suffering.
Caligula.
He ended up suffering a sickness, which people still aren't quite sure what happened, but much like Papa Doc, a lot of people blamed his later behavior on this sickness.
The theory was epilepsy, and that he was
Yes.
epileptic, and he had I forget what the term was.
Falling
but
sickness.
But it was a seizure that lasts more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, and you know what? There is some credence to that because Caesar,
Very possibly.
the whole family bloodline.
Seizure.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that connection, but yes, Caesar was known to have suffered from epilepsy, and you know we're talking about the first 6
It's a big
Caesars. So.
incestuous family tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you fucking dip the wick in the same wax that the other candles are burning in, you burn it out pretty quick. You know.
Yeah, ask any Amish
like
person.
a candle in the wind. Right? Fuck you guys. Elton John reference. Like a candle in the wind.
We're not talking about Princess Diana.
I'll give you
not today.
I'll give you the points for the Elton John throw-in.
We're talking about candles. Alright.
So yeah, a lot of people blamed his later behavior on what may or may not have happened to his brain, i.e. brain damage, during the sickness. Likely, not so much. It turns out that Caligula just had a very, I would say, advanced, dark sense of humor that a lot of people of the time did not get. Also, he had such contempt for the aristocracy and the senatorial class.
And also, uncontested power.
Yeah.
It's contested, actually.
Well, yeah.
But
Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah, but you got the power, and then you think all these people are after you, which they are.
Yeah.
Because everybody
His paranoia was founded.
It's at 100%.
It wasn't baseless.
Like, it's all of these people,
And-
there was constant, the plotting and the fucking, and yes, the Game of Thrones reference again, because
and the whole song and dance that the people in charge had to do between the Senate, and it's like, oh, you know, you have to like flatter these people.
Yeah,
and
and
fucking
if you're a
shit
senator, you're fucking either literally or figuratively sucking Caligula's cock to fucking make things happen for yourself and your peoples.
Yeah, your contingency.
And later on, when he would go on to declare himself a god, as while he was alive, not post, you know, the name, the term used for people being like raised up to godhood is called apotheosis, and apotheosis would be applied to these dead emperors, but he did it while alive.
Well, when I claim myself a god,
sister.
that's when I've jumped the shark.
Yeah. Season 5, I believe. So
I'll give it 7.
the reason that I'm a god thing sort of spiraled out even further is because the Senate had to fucking kiss the ring and all that bullshit, that the senators were falling over each other to sort of be like, oh yes, oh great Caligula, yes, you're almighty.
They were kissing the hand that was holding them down.
Mm-hmm.
I got a ring right between my ass you could kiss.
Rings, that'll play into our later. Never mind. Don't want to give it away.
No. No.
I'm trying to think of the more crazy rumors.
Look at all these Romans sig heiling.
Well, let me tell you about the most probably one of the more famous rumors about Caligula was that they say that he made his horse consul.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Now let's talk about that.
This
for a
is
minute.
exactly what feeds into what
Yes,
we're talking
this is
about.
This
totally
was
feeds in.
this was after the third discovered
conspiracy.
senatorial conspiracy to take Caligula's life. Because Caligula was dressing down the Senate that was under Tiberius.
He was checking some bitches.
Yeah, he was checking them.
He's like, I know you're all fucking
misappropriating landworks funds.
Yeah.
And lining their pockets. You know, general corruptness. You know, these senators conspired and tried to take his life.
They're trying to build the Esplanade.
Yeah, but instead you bought yourself a yacht.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so these
Stugatz.
yeah. So, you know, he was against the Senate. The Senate was against him. The Senate tried to take his life for the third time in his 4-year reign. This was about year 3. So he said, you know, he wiped out a few senators. He exiled even more. So he comes in before the Senate. He's like, look, my fucking horse could do a better job than you fucking pricks.
Yeah. And they all called him crazy because they just didn't get it.
Yeah, and then
I
historians...
sympathize.
And let me note this, that the historians that wrote of Caligula's reign were writing years, if not decades, after the fact, after Caligula had been assassinated.
Yeah.
So they weren't even there
Spoiler alert.
Sorry.
No, it's all
They
good.
weren't even there during the time
Spoiler
of his
alert
reign.
on that several thousand years old.
Yeah.
Oh, for those who haven't, yeah. So yeah, that's what was going on.
Yeah, there was another famous story that he declared war on the ocean. This was also...
You went around stomping on the beach, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was predominantly bullshit. There's a couple of different interpretations.
There's multiple this
Yeah.
was the thing in the thing that I listened to.
Yeah, he
And-
basically told his soldiers to go out and find some conch. And
Yeah.
and
Gosh.
yeah, I was waiting for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently conch was a pejorative term for
Give me some
vagina
fucking conch!
back in the day. So maybe he was telling his soldiers like, yeah, go out and get laid.
But the original thing that circulated was that he made them pick up seashells
On
Yeah.
the seashore.
as the prize for their victory.
Yeah.
But the
Seashells.
real interpretation
It was a form of punishment.
he was like
Humiliation.
well, because
Yeah.
they wouldn't cross the fucking English Channel.
Yeah.
He wanted them to go
dude.
and conquer England, which was this was the second time that the Romans soldiers had showed up to that area, and they were like, nah, we're not going to go over there.
Yeah, they were
The soldiers did not want to cross the English Channel because that seemed to be the boundaries of what they understood.
Yeah, the ancient Romans were fucking terrified of Britain as it stood back then. One day we'll cover Boudica and we'll get the other side of this. But yeah, fucking, this is where they found like new dark gods and shit. They were like, no, it's all fucked up over there. They're all a bunch of sorcerers. We ain't touching that shit.
But in further looking back, they all had the same. It was Europe. Everybody had the same gods under various fucking names. But anyway, at the time, they viewed them as brutes, and they didn't want to go over there.
They were all painted blue. They didn't even think half of them were human.
Yeah, and so Caligula said, "Go get some conch," which could be interpreted as, well, he made them just pick up seashells and bring them back to the people like, yeah, look what we did. Or it could be like he told them to go get some poontang from the locals.
There was one other...
And then there was another one. I don't even remember what that other interpretation was.
These are the interesting ones.
Because poontang and shells, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Artistic license.
And that is where all of this lies. And speaking of artistic license, I'm looking at the screen right now.
Are they
There
bowling?
lovely nude ladies. It does look kind of like a bowling alley. And is that a stegosaurus?
Little known
What
fact.
the fuck?
That was a
Some kind of
stegosaurus.
dragon
It was like
or-
a dragon stegosaurus.
You know, there's actually paintings back from like the 13th and 12th century.
Where they had fossils?
Where
and
they have fucking people riding on dinosaurs, and this is before, people allegedly fucking saw dinosaurs.
Hey, this
They
ain't
probably
Chris's
had people
conspiracy
dig up
theory.
some fossils back
Yeah.
then, It's like,
That's
what
where
the fuck is
dragon
this shit?
fucking stories probably came from.
Hey, look, a butt and balls. Or tutor?
No,
What is
that's
that?
just a big bush.
What is that?
What is... when you see a back end of it, he's like that, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, well, that is aggressive.
That looks alright.
It's needlessly aggressive.
Oh, there's a dick.
Is that a midget?
All these stories...
That is! Oh, and she's sucking him off!
Wow.
Son of a
What you-
bitch on fire.
Okay, all right. Just so for the listeners out there,
Yeah, if you didn't catch it by what our narration.
in the current Caligula movie, a little person was
Preferred
Yeah, look at the
nomenclature.
stubby thighs. Yeah.
boy, he's got
Stubby,
muscular ass
thighs.
thighs though. There was a little person
Small
that was
fingers.
being aggressively
Smell like cabbage.
filleted by a consort of
It
Caligula.
was like, yeah, and she was like forcefully sucking him off.
Forcefully, I
Yeah.
don't think he was giving too much resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't rape the willing, right?
Yeah.
Don't cancel me.
Canceled. Oh my.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
yeah.
Okay. That is way more X-rated than I was expecting.
Well, yeah, okay. Yeah.
That's a.
It
It was a big old member.
Yeah, what were we
Yeah,
talking
that
about?
was a
I don't know.
fucking thermos hanging between them.
All right, Tiberius is dead.
Yeah.
Fucking
All the Senate got pink eye.
Caligula, Senate. Conch.
Train
Yeah,
of
yeah,
thought has been derailed.
Yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
Well, we're back.
Oh, there was another story about how
areolas.
instead of all his soldiers going over to the modern day UK area, instead he had to come up with some kind of big fucking display of like, hey, I'm fucking super cool and I got a fucking army and I fucking rule this shit. He made this huge like bridge of ships and
I'm sorry. that dude's fucking dog was fucking huge. This is supposed to be an art
That was
film.
like 3 inches in diameter, man.
I wonder if those sheets are 1,000 count Egyptian.
Look how frantic they are. They were coked to the gills.
Air coke to the gills, 1979. Oh, well.
All right, you know what? Since we're at about an hour 20-ish, let's just kind of summarize by saying that all the stories you've heard about Caligula, mostly bullshit.
This movie is entirely erotic fiction.
Yeah.
He wasn't. I don't.
Slash fiction, I believe it's called nowadays.
Yeah.
Or gash fiction.
Oh, Jesus.
So,
That is
yeah.
aggressive.
He pissed off a lot of the wrong people, and that's why we have the stories we have today about him.
Which brings you to what could be related to any current politician or any current person.
we're seeing it. We see it today.
We see it every fucking day.
Yeah.
The note
Are
you
you
just hit
saying-
was like, it gives worms to ex-girlfriends.
Right.
What are you getting?
This is a drug for the world to give worms to ex-girlfriends. You just don't get it here.
Okay, like we said, this is going to be fast and loose today.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Guys, are we going to wrap this up and go finish getting drunk?
Jesus Christ. Okay.
I'm gonna
So,
wait till I get home with this tape.
all right, keep it yourself. Wrap it up.
Yeah.
So yeah. Basically, long story short, sooner or later, Caligula is assassinated by the aristocratic class. A lot of them were.
They shanked his ass in the shower, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yep.
It was a fuck. It was
Prison style.
Yeah. He pissed off the aristocratic class so many times they were just like, fuck
By
this
trying
guy.
to help bolster the poor people, you know,
Yeah,
to
by
begin
building up a middle class
and
fucking-
changing the way the royal courts are being held. You know, he was just straying from the norm.
If
And
only
he was a
politicians
crusader.
could
And you
just
know what?
go out by a shanking today.
No, they will. Give it time. I won't say all the stories about him are bullshit because take into account this is ancient Rome we're talking about. Shit was freaky.
Everything we
But
say
also-
probably has a nugget of truth.
Yeah.
But a lot of it's probably bullshit.
Yeah, it's slander and character assassination at its finest. But holy shit, Jesus Christ!
Wow!
Oh,
What is-
my
oh,
God.
It's violence.
Oh,
Sexual
my
violence.
There was a-
Boner kill.
There was a whipping. But yeah, I mean, he was also engaged in freaky shit. Like we said, there was an Epstein Island of the day that people had to go, anytime people have to fucking retire to a private island to do their nastiness, it's probably pretty fucked up.
Yeah, if you gotta go off of international lines,
international waters.
international waters.
Yeah,
it's probably
Plus,
bad.
Taking into account, like I said earlier, like what we're finding out today about all the ritualized sexuality and drugs, like as far as we're practiced in temples and in worship of various gods.
This ties into current reality. And current theory.
And this is what I was going to talk
way
about
too
a little
much.
bit too, because
It's way too much.
in ancient Rome, you had the imperial cult and the leaders all throughout history, and like we said, apotheosis of the emperor. This the emperor becomes god after death. Caligula did it. He made himself a god while he was alive, and that also pissed
deified
people
himself,
off.
likened himself to
To Jupiter
creator.
and Apollo.
Season
Yeah,
7.
he
I'll
had
get
gold
at me.
statues produced. Made
But
of himself.
this, kind of lays the foundation, or is connected to all through history. We have the divine right of kings, or if you go to China in the East, you have the heavenly mandate. All people who are kings and emperors and rulers, anybody in charge, fucking the word royalty is the same root as the word reality. And these people are the dictators of what's real. They're the people who are the arbiters of what is. They fucking call the shots, and they basically lay the foundations for what is the ontological basis, if I can throw out an $8 word, of reality. So,
What, you get a vocabulary for Christmas?
It's a
Nah,
$15
wasn't.
word with inflation.
Oh, thank you.
Goddamn Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Bidenomics coming at you.
These are the people who fucking dictate what is and what isn't. These are the people who say what is real. These are the people who are the avatars and officiators of the gods on Earth. And I know, that's so distracting. So this plays all through life. And I will say,
Spencer casually masturbating right now.
if you take the idea, oh my god, all right, scale back.
That's right.
If you take the idea of the imperial cult all the way into modern era, there is actually, and I just want to connect this, and this is a little bit of connective tissue to our big episode we're doing next.
Very
but
big.
in the U.S.
Bigger than the dong that was bigger than that dong right there. Oh my god.
Oh my god! All right.
Jesus Christ. Oh,
Wow. Okay.
Let's talk about the movie Caligula, 1970.
Oh yeah.
All right, let me say one more thing. One more thing.
Okay,
All right, if you go to the United States Capitol building under the dome and look up, there's a giant fresco called the Apotheosis of George Washington. This still plays into today. It's a fucking fresco like Raphael fucking Sistine Chapel painting.
Yeah, painted plaster.
Of
Yeah.
fucking George Washington being escorted into heaven by angels and sitting on the throne of God. This is still shit that plays into the undercurrent of modern fucking American politics and fucking Christian evangelism and all that bullshit, all that fucking eye in the pyramid, national treasure symbolism. This stuff is still around. It's what Philip K. Dick called the Black Iron Prison, which we are still in today. Anywho, enough of that downer shit, but that's a little
Beautifully
taste
put.
of what we're
Beautifully
going
put.
into next time. Let's talk about this movie.
Yeah,
because
just so we can catch y'all up on
it's obviously
this film that has been playing in the background the entire time we are recording here.
We've been awash
The
in a
one
sea
that-
of cocks and
I'm gonna have
labias.
to wash myself when I go
Yeah,
home.
Spencer, he did the deed. He went through the trouble of having to
went-
actually enjoy this.
To trust a German website.
I went deep.
He's going deep when he gets home, actually.
real deep.
Real deep.
Bobby Guccione.
Gooch?
Talk about,
The Gooch?
Bobby the Gooch Guccione.
don't call him the Gooch where he can hear you.
Oh.
So
he still
Bobby
alive?
Guccione.
Was he the penthouse owner?
I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, Bobby Guccione was the founder of Penthouse Magazine.
He was the Hugh Hefner.
which was the
Penthouse.
very first paper print media to show actual
Penetrato.
genitals,
okay.
labias.
They didn't remember.
Molvas.
They didn't do penetration in magazine until we were in our freshman year of high school. I think.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because it
But
was
Penthouse was the first.
Penthouse
show,
was the first one to show the penetration.
Yeah,
I remember
Amos, the Mulva.
Wade's house. When I would go to Wade's house, he had the first penetration penthouse.
I'm no scientist, but I believe it's called a vagina.
Yeah, and they show the girls peeing. You know, like on a.
Oh yeah, they did the peeing thing.
Yeah, they do the pee, but the those gals are always so dehydrated. The pee's like almost brown. You know.
Well, I think they do that on purpose.
That could be a lighting issue as well.
Yeah.
I think it's yellow pee.
But
anyway,
don't yuck my yum over here. Not that that's my yum.
I will.
Right.
I will yuck every yum.
Exactly what the person who yums that yuckiness would say.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm the yuck yummer. Bobby Guccione, founder of
Jesus. This is so off the rails.
We're so off the rails today. It's fine. This is a casual episode.
Yeah.
Here's Ebert's review of the 1979 art film Caligula.
He walked out on it.
Sickening, utterly worthless, shameful trash. He had lots of other choice words, but this is the headline that he put in the papers.
And I heard he actually did. He wrote
Beyond the Valley of the Dolls.
Beyond the Valley of the
Yeah,
Dolls.
Directed
which
by
was a
Russ
sci-fi-
Meyer.
So he wasn't a prude.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't a prude at all. This movie came out during what was basically the sexual revolution in the U.S.
Well, it was after.
It's like that. There used to be an HBO show called
Real Sex?
No, it had
Taxi Cab Confessions.
No, it had convicted. Well, not convicted. It had James Franco, who
Red Shoe Diaries.
Oh, no, the TV show.
Yeah.
The Deuce.
The Deuce, yeah, and it was all about how Times Square
Yeah.
was like a fucking porn mecca.
That was actually
Yeah,
really
so
cool. I
was
like that.
so was
Method
San
Man.
Francisco
Yeah.
along at the same time. It's like both corners of the country. There was
Yeah.
like a porn
Yeah.
revolution. Yeah.
Earth People, New York and California.
Yep. Bob Guccione. He wanted to make
The
a
Gooch.
high production value, artistic
Art film.
porn film.
Right.
He wanted to make a porn film, with a very high production value, like millions of dollars being
They should
spent.
kind of bring that concept
He
back.
wanted to make. He had a simple dream, and he just wanted to make. You wanted to make
Well,
the
currently,
best porno movie ever made, okay?
Spencer, I'm looking past you right now, and I believe Malcom McDowell is getting filleted during a meeting with his.
Yeah. It's the greatest porno movie ever made.
One man in a
Oh.
So, he got none other than Gore Vidal to
Yeah,
write it.
okay, I remember you mentioning...
Originally.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Gore Vidal wrote it.
Gore Vidal, for those who don't know, is
No
popular...
Country for Old Men.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wait, what? No, that's
Cormac McCarthy.
Cormac
Fuck.
McCarthy.
You're all
Gore
over the
Vidal was a famous intellectual. He fucking did like live television debates with like G. Gordon Liddy or some shit.
Can I call myself
Yeah.
a famous intellectual?
Sure. I mean,
I thought you
will.
were already. What did you call yourself at the beginning of the show?
not a scholar,
Not. You were.
not the
hinged.
No.
No, today I'm hinged.
You're a hinged.
I'm different every time. My consistency is that I'm inconsistent.
You consistency of gravy. Yeah. Gore Vidal wrote
Discharge.
wrote the original story screenplay. Guccione got infamous director Tinto Brasso to direct it.
All these fucking names.
Tinto
Now,
Brasso
Gore
is...
Vidal wrote originally the very first writing of the Caligula play had a lot more
artistic.
gay man-on-man sex. There's
well.
plenty of lesbian sex now, but that was an after-write.
I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but the ancient Greeks and Romans didn't have a word for gay people. It was just, whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody put their thing where they needed to put it at the time.
Guccione didn't approve of this, as he was the purveyor of a men's...
I can almost hear the specific word I'm sure he used in an Italian accent.
Yeah. He wanted Vidal to do a rewrite, then Tinto came in, Tinto Brass.
Yeah. Who is also known for doing like Italian sort of giallo type pornographic
similar
sort of stuff.
ilk kind of films,
Yeah.
during this kind of sexual movie revolution. So he came in and rewrote from there, which angered Gore Vidal. He didn't want anybody writing over his...
Gore Vidal sounds like a type of cheese.
His fellas...
He's a big fella.
Then at that point, they booted Vidal from the production after him and Tinto got into a writing dispute.
I'm sure Gore Vidal thinks his lucky stars every day.
Starring Malcolm McDowell.
Yeah.
This was his film right after Clockwork Orange.
Mm-hmm.
Peter O'Toole of
Plenty
multiple-
O'Toole.
Yeah, who was known to fight with the directors a lot. Peter O'Toole, interesting story, during the production of this movie, he decided to give up alcohol. But
Yeah.
Malcolm McDowell has gone on record saying that Peter O'Toole was clearly strung out on something.
Yeah,
They
he was-
were all
Yeah.
on cocaine.
Yeah, I think it was cocaine, maybe freebase.
Oh,
maybe
freebase.
Well, see, that's the thing.
Helen Mirren.
I'll freebase some Helen Mirren.
Oh God, Helen Mirren. She
You
was
know,
like 20,
I didn't when he told me that.
Helen
I'm like,
Mirren's still got it going on.
Well,
man,
yeah,
for
I
an
mean,
older lady.
for an older broad.
Older the bear, the sweeter the juice.
Okay, so we got Tinto Brass was the second writer and principal director and photographer for the film.
Yeah.
He was he was infamous. He was known to being difficult to work with.
Tinto Brass Band.
Yeah, very bossy, controlling. Tinto wanted to make the film more of a political satire, talking about how power corrupts, corrupts
the depravity of the ruling class, etc.
Exactly, yeah.
Just like Salo.
Yeah, very interesting film too. Maybe we could mention that later. We could talk about Marquis de Sade.
He's on the list.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord. So Tinto wanted to make it political satire. Guccione wanted to make the highest production value porno film ever made, using his beautiful penthouse pets.
This reminds me of old-timey Hollywood, too, about how they would, like, anytime they did a period piece of, like, ancient Egypt and Rome and shit, guys like, what's that fucker's name? Cecil B. DeMille. He did all these, like, huge, like, I'm sure what would today cost billions of dollars fucking
Christopher
sets.
Nolan style.
Yeah, just, they wanted to go for the fucking reality of it.
You know, Guccione, he wanted to make a sexy porn with a high production value, but he didn't have any directorial
Art
experience. Yeah, he didn't have the chops, so he was known for employing strange tactics which irked Tinto Brass and the production team in general. He had novel but definite newbie ways of figuring out ways to make the shit.
I just hit a bag of Coke in that guy's ass. Why don't you go find it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sniff this until you're numb.
Oh. Good God.
Guccione employed many of his
Is that John
famous
Belushi?
pets for the sexy.
It looked a little Belushi.
I thought it was John Belushi.
It looked like Belushi. Okay.
Tinto Brass would take camera time and production away from Guccione and his penthouse pets, and he would focus on other parts because he didn't want it to be just a pure sex film. He wanted it to be more
Art.
yeah.
But, you know.
Peter O'Toole was famously high as fuck on something during the production of this. Malcom McDowell wrote that he was clearly strung out on something during the entire production, and Peter O'Toole was a famous drinker.
Yeah,
and he allegedly, famously swore off alcohol for the production of this film because he felt that it was an important thing to make.
Yeah, but freebasing cocaine is a little bit
Malcolm
better.
McDowell writes in an interview that he saw him smoking something out of a pipe that was clearly not tobacco. It's something that was powerful enough to string out the great Peter O'Toole. So
there could have been some DTs related to that as well. Probably.
Yeah, it was that Richard
quite
Pryor.
possibly, yeah.
He was on that Richard Pryor.
Malcolm McDowell actually took a real piss on the movie using his real dick in his own pee.
He's a real dick.
Yeah.
Oh, is this the?
They didn't have the Wizinator back then?
No, they didn't. So they did it old school.
I was being sarcastic.
Malcolm McDowell, he had to piss while
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
While giving a little speech. Yeah.
I guess this is the.
You want to make it the big time, boy? You take a piss. This
wait.
must
All
be
right,
his assassination.
we are watching the assassination scene right now.
Yeah. It's just one
Caligula just took a knife.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but he's still there. He's like, wait.
Is that
he's
the best you got?
He's
pussy?
like,
Let me suck you off one last time.
Can I get some bush? Can I get a bush real quick?
Somebody sit on my face. Anybody.
Well, Roman guard. The Victorian.
Comes,
Nope. He got a lot of spears.
Okay.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, so.
The end!
Caligula died. But it's been 2,000 years and some change.
Mm-hmm.
So,
give or take.
Oh, wait, actually,
It's open to interpretation.
What year did Caligula die?
He was a contemporary of Jesus, so year
37 AD, 41 AD, I believe.
just shy of 2000.
So-
2000. Actually, you know what? It's year 2024. Probably around 2000
Could
years.
Jesus have summered at Caligula's palace?
Oh yeah,
So
totally.
It's very possible.
we're not writing off the fact that Jesus pissed on somebody, got filleted, fucked a horse.
Oh, there's
You mean-
golden showers.
You mean Caligula?
No, Jesus.
Oh yeah.
We are not writing. So it is not impossible.
crystal.
It is not impossible to say
It's like I said. There's that scene in Mark 14 where he was arrested
and
with a naked
Caligula
boy.
had their own version of The Hangover.
There was all those weird mystery
They
cults
had their
that
own
were
little
into
biblical hellfire club.
They were into weird mystery school ritual sex.
You heard
and
it here,
drug use.
folks. First, Jesus and Caligula kicked it. They fucked horses. They fucked all the ladies. There's jizz, wall to wall.
I don't know.
Skeet.
I heard Jesus was more into his 12 teenage disciples.
Were they teenagers?
Yeah.
I thought they were all in their 40s.
No, they were all fucking young kids.
Yeah,
when
but
he-
so was Jesus at the time, right?
Yeah, well, he was older than them.
From the window to the walls.
Malcom McDowell wrote in another.
Look at the horse. Look at the horse.
He's counting.
The horse is upset because
7 dead bodies.
Malcom McDowell wrote after filming the movie. He wrote, "I feel like a woman who's been raped."
Jesus.
Yeah. He was put through a lot.
I just
even
watched
after Clockwork
part
Orange.
of this movie, and I could understand it.
Yeah.
Because that is this.
The
movie is disgusting.
I get a very Stanley
Disgusting.
Kubrick. What's her name? Molly.
How dare you?
What's that lady's name from The Shining? Olivia Duvall or whatever.
Yeah.
He put her through shit, and she's fucking cuckoo now.
Oh yeah,
So,
she's bad off. Yeah.
yeah.
Helen Mirren described the movie as an artistic mix of art and genitals.
I could agree with that.
It's like Georgia O'Keeffe painting, if you will.
Where did they film this?
In Rome.
Oh, they filmed it in Rome?
Yeah.
I don't... Okay. Cocaine was expensive in
Miami.
Rome. I imagine... if it was Miami, then okay. But
There must have been piles of blow so big you had to take a ski lift to get to the bottom.
But you know
of
what?
it.
Everybody could get on an airplane with a bag of cocaine back then. So.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say...
If you're traveling within the continental United States, you still can.
Yeah,
pretty much.
de Pompeii. Yeah, this was filmed in Rome.
Oh, Rochelle Aaron did the wigs.
Rome, Italy. Yeah.
Well, everybody...
Yeah.
Copyright Penthouse Films International.
We lived it so you didn't have to.
Yes. You're welcome, America. And extended international audience.
So, in conclusion of Caligula and the Caligula porn film...
I gotta go wash my browser history.
I gotta go wash my brain.
You're going to have to do that again tomorrow, Spencer.
Yeah.
And
So-
the next day. And the next day.
And the next day.
And the next. And again. And again.
Your mother
and
did,
again.
your mother did, your mother did.
Like we said, it's all character assassination and predominantly bullshit. You piss off the wrong people, aka the aristocrats. You're fucked
The
in
Aristocats.
history's eyes. Are you? Never
I don't
mind.
think he knows the Aristocrats joke.
Yeah.
We'll have to play that for you later.
I don't know. I know the kitties.
Oh, no. There's something much better.
Yeah. That's going to be today's and this week's episode. Like we said, we got something big in the works coming up next week. It's going to be much heavier on erudite scholarly
I've
research
been
as opposed to today.
Just so y'all know, I'm adding... We discussed it before. I'm adding researcher to my title.
Well, I would certainly fucking hope
So,
so.
researcher, let's
I know I broke balls about the people that have researcher in the title.
Researcher, scholar, hinged.
Yeah.
What else do you call yourself? It's building.
It builds every week.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I'm a new character every week.
Consistency of gravy.
But
You
Discharge.
spread it out.
The consistency
Spreading
of
it
gravy
around.
all that matters on the cook that day. You know, sometimes there's bacon in it. Sometimes
Who's
there's sausage.
gravy?
Sometimes it's a little too watery. Sometimes
How
too
much
thick.
of that bacon grease is in it?
It all depends on the. You know what? Animal fat. I'm putting animal fat in everything, and I'm the animal, and I'm
Animal
fat.
fat.
So there's a talent agent in a talent agency.
You know what? You know what?
He welcomes in a man and wife and his family into the office. The husband says, "We have a new act for you." He says, "Okay, let's see it." So the mother takes off her clothes. The children sit down on their knees and proceed to provide cunnilingus and anglingus to the mother, while the father is on the side jacking off. Then a dog walks in. The dog takes his shit on the floor. The father starts licking it up, beating it off profusely. All the while the children are sucking off the mother's asshole and pussy.
All right,
Wrap it up. That's bad. All right.
And then they mop up and they finish up, and the talent agent says, "Dear God, what do you call your act?" And they says, "The Aristocrats."
Hey!
Spencer's watched too much Caligula now.
I think we got a title for our episode. All right.
And on that note, well, this is over. This is over.
Yeah.
Over.
Rest in peace, Gilbert Gottfried.
You're loved. I got an empty cup of coffee. I got an empty cup of bourbon, and I got to fill this up. And then I gotta go brush my teeth because Spencer
left a foul taste in your mouth.
Left a foul fucking taste.
Like I said, tune in next week for more erudite research and scholarly examinations of something tangentially related to this episode.
I'm a researcher
in the most
now.
strange, disconnected way. But yeah, this is gonna be a big one next week. So maybe a two-parter.
Right.
We'll see. There's a lot of stuff to cover.
Let's party like they did in 37 AD.
Let's party like it's
37 AD.
Let's party like it's 19.
Yeah.
All right. This has been Kooks, Cranks, and Iconoclasts. I'm your host, Mike.
Spencer.
Christopher Wells. Check us out on kooksandcranks@gmail.com.
Thank you.
And check us out on Facebook, Instagram at Kooks, Cranks, and Iconoclasts. And then check me out, Christ ACAB. And Spencer, you are on
Facebook. I'm looking forward to my 70th friend soon.
And you're just Spencer Lowry.
Spencer Lowry. Yeah.
And Mike,
LOWERY.
I don't care about any of that shit.
Yeah, but you got it.
I think I'm Mick Luck on Facebook. Yes.
Fucking Mick Bastard.
And he's Mick Bastard on Instagram.
All right, good night, everyone.
Good night and good luck.